Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into something huge today. There is an invisible force, literally a biological puppet master, running in the background of your life right this very second, and it is actively draining your financial potential. If you've ever wondered why saving money, building a business, or just sticking to a long-term goal feels impossibly hard, well, you're definitely not alone. And the culprit isn't a lack of intelligence, and it's not a lack of ambition. It's dopamine. It is literally keeping you poor.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to honestly confront a pretty painful question. Is your phone keeping you poor? Just think about your daily digital habits for a second. How many times have you grabbed your device today just to quickly check something, only to suddenly realize it's 2 a.m. and you're doom-scrolling videos of, competitive dog grooming? We've all been there. But every single time you do that, you are making a subconscious trade. You're trading your absolute most valuable asset, your time and your potential to build future wealth, for a fleeting, momentary digital distraction.
So why do we do this to ourselves? To really understand it, we have to look at the underlying biology. Dopamine is a brain chemical that provides instant rewards. Think of it like digital sugar for your brain. But when we talk about wealth building, it is so much more than just a biological function. Dopamine is the invisible force driving our modern habits. It's the exact chemical trigger that dictates whether we choose the hard work of building an asset or the easy comfort of wasting time. Your brain releases dopamine when you get a text, see a funny clip, or when someone likes your post. It makes you feel great instantly, but it demands absolutely nothing of real value from you in return. And that brings us to the instant dopamine trap. Look, human beings did not evolve in a world with smartphones attached to our hands. We evolved to seek out really scarce rewards. But today, the modern world is fundamentally engineered by incredibly smart tech companies to hack our attention. They know exactly how our dopamine systems work. They have built entire ecosystems totally designed to trap us in a cycle of seeking that next quick hit. It keeps us entirely focused on the present moment, completely blinding us to planning for our financial future.
What do the specific tools of this trap actually look like? Well, it's those endless social media feeds that you can scroll forever without ever hitting the bottom. It's binge-worthy short-form videos that are algorithmically weaponized to perfectly match your interests and keep you hooked. It's the constant push notifications lighting up your screen, demanding your immediate attention. We're talking about unlimited digital entertainment available 24/7. These technologies provide a continuous, unearned stream of cheap dopamine straight to your brain. You don't have to build a business or learn a complex new skill to feel good. You literally just have to swipe your thumb.
We are dealing with a massive biological mismatch here. It's a constant tug of war between immediate rewards, pleasure right now, and delayed rewards, which is your wealth later. The harsh truth is that the human brain naturally prefers immediate pleasure. We are hardwired to want our rewards right this second. But wealth building, investing, acquiring skills, all of that lives entirely on the side of delayed rewards. True wealth requires patience, consistency, and the discipline to put off feeling good today so you can actually be wealthy tomorrow.
And that leads us to this really stark reality. Immediate pleasure often equals future poverty. This biological preference for short-term gratification becomes a massive roadblock, particularly for young adults trying to achieve financial success today. When your brain is constantly flooded with cheap, high-intensity dopamine from your devices, the slow, quiet, methodical work of saving money or grinding on a side hustle just feels excruciatingly boring by comparison. You're effectively training your brain to reject the exact activities that will make you financially free.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what that outcome looks like. There is a massive gap between the hours we spend consuming content, binging entertainment, scrolling, watching, and the tiny fraction of time spent actually creating value. Honestly, if you want to know why someone is struggling financially, you usually just have to look at their ratio of consumption to creation. Wealth is generated by creating value for the market, not by passively consuming the value created by everyone else.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the trap of fake productivity. It is so incredibly easy to trick ourselves here. You might sit on the couch and watch 2 straight hours of short-form videos about drop shipping or real estate or entrepreneurship. Because the topic is quote-unquote educational, the scrolling feels productive. You get a massive dopamine high from learning a new concept, feeling like you've accomplished something huge. But unless you close the app, open your laptop, and actually buy a domain name or build a website, you haven't moved an inch closer to financial freedom. You've just consumed more content.
Let's clearly separate the daily habits of the distracted from the habits of the wealthy. Consuming content looks like binge-watching 5 hours of coding tutorials or endlessly scrolling through business advice. That just drains your time and gives you a cheap dopamine hit.
Creating value, on the other hand, means actually writing the code, launching the business, practicing a new high-income skill, or analyzing and placing an investment. Creating value requires real effort and delayed gratification, but it is the only thing that actually builds your net worth.
Furthermore, we have to realize this isn't just about the time you lose. It's about the cognitive damage you are doing to yourself. Chasing instant rewards actively destroys your focus and discipline. When your brain expects a reward every 3 seconds, you completely lose the ability to sit still and do deep, focused work for 3 hours. And deep, focused work is exactly what is required to solve complex problems and build wealth. This constant dopamine seeking leads directly to chronic procrastination, deep distraction, and ultimately very poor financial decisions.
So how do we fix this? Because you are not a victim of your biology, and you can absolutely fight your brain's default settings. It's time to intentionally rewire for financial success. This means actively detoxing from that cheap dopamine and intentionally training your brain to find deep, genuine satisfaction in long-term achievements. Yes, it takes hard work. And yes, it's uncomfortable at first, but it is the absolute only path to true wealth.
To make that shift, you need 4 essential pillars. First up, embrace delayed gratification. You have to learn to say no to a small pleasure today for a massive payoff tomorrow. Second, cultivate patience. Wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. Third, practice daily discipline. Motivation will always fade. Discipline is what keeps you creating value when you would much rather be scrolling. And finally, prioritize continuous learning. Real applied learning, not just passive consumption. These pillars require you to actively reject instant gratification in favor of long-term growth.
Let's make this highly practical right now. If you want to regain control of your focus today, step 1, turn off all non-essential notifications. Do not let an app dictate when you look at your phone. Step 2, set strict screen time boundaries. Literally put your phone in a completely different room when you need to do deep work. Step 3, dedicate daily, uninterrupted time to building an asset or learning a skill. Even just 1 hour of pure, focused creation a day will put you miles ahead of the competition.
Let's move to and see how this builds over time. Look at how wealth actually accumulates. In the span of just days, your only goal is simply resisting the urge to scroll. It is purely about breaking the immediate addiction. As we move into months, that reclaimed time allows you to build a high-income skill or start a business. And then, over the years, the real magic happens. You get to sit back and watch those created assets and investments compound. Real wealth takes time, patience, and consistently choosing the harder path. As we bring this explainer to a close, remember our core takeaway. Successful people prioritize long-term rewards over short-term pleasure. The ultimate difference between those who build massive wealth and those who remain stuck in financial stress isn't usually luck. It's not innate genius either. It is simply the discipline to delay gratification. It's the ability to put the phone down, ignore the cheap dopamine hits, and do the hard work today that will pay off for decades to come.
Which brings us to a final, powerful message to leave you with. Your future wealth depends on the rewards you choose today. The very next time you pick up your phone to aimlessly scroll, I want you to remember this exact quote: make the profitable choice. But before you click away to another explainer, ask yourself, are you going to take action right now, or are you just going to keep scrolling? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.